Hey guys, Revant here. Welcome back to my channel, Botgeek, and today I'm going to start with a new series called Computer Fundamentals. So, in this series, I'll be teaching you guys the basics of computers. So, today's topic is hardware components in a computer. So, before I go to hardware components in a computer directly, I would like to talk about a couple of things. So, let's get started. What is a computer? You can think of it as a device that can be used for storing data. If you want to store your files, your folders, and your coding projects, you can store them in your computer. Basically, files, folders, and coding projects are also data. So, processing data. If suppose you have a long book, like a 500-page book, and if you want to find a name of a person, it will take really long. It will take a lot of time. But if you have an online copy or a digital copy in your computer of that book, the computer will process the data in that book and then it will find the name for you. Making calculations, if you want to arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, and all those stuff, you can do it in your computer. Various tasks that are different for humans to do in a short period of time. If you want to do a 10-digit number into a 20-digit number, it will take a long time. Now, human versus computer. If you want to do this very big calculation, by the time a human does it, he will be exhausted. But a computer, it can do it in a fraction of a second and it will give the answer. Now, hardware components of a computer. So, to make a computer, you will need hardware components. So, the main hardware component is a CPU. A CPU stands for Central Processing Unit and is also known as the brain of the computer. And a lot of people also call a CPU as the processor of the computer. It can be used to do processing intensive tasks and to do arithmetic operations and all those stuff. So, there are a lot of models of CPUs. Some of the most popular CPUs are from Intel. Some of the models are i5, i7, i9, i3. And AMD also makes CPUs. Their Ryzen 7 series or 5 series. They also make CPUs. And nowadays, recently, Apple made their own ARM-based CPUs for their MacBooks. ARM-based means basically like a custom CPU. Now, a CPU fan. A CPU fan is used to cool the CPU. Next, VGA card or GPU. Nowadays, no one calls the GPU a VGA card. VGA card, I believe it's video graphics card. If I'm wrong, comment down below. But it is called GPU nowadays. GPU stands for Graphics Processing Unit. It is used to make the gaming performance of a laptop better. Next is RAM. So, RAM stands for Random Access Memory and it's the fastest memory you can access in your computer. If suppose you open an app, the app is stored in RAM. And if RAM is overloaded with a lot of apps, it will send some of the apps to swap memory so that it can make up more space for other apps to fit in RAM. Now let's talk about hard disk or hard drive. So hard disk or hard drive is a device that can be used to store data like files and folders. And there is also another variant of hard disk called the SSD, which stands for solid state drive. There are a lot of models. Some of them are from Kingston and some of them are from Samsung. And also there are a lot of RAM models. Some are from Kingston again. And GPU cards or VGA cards, there are again a lot of models, but the most popular one is the NVIDIA RTX 3090 that came out pretty recently. Now let's talk about input devices. Input devices are the devices that are used to give input to the computer, like keyboard or a mouse. So, a keyboard or a mouse are input devices because they give input to the computer. Output devices. Output devices are the devices that give the output for the input that we gave. So some of them are monitor because it will show the output for the input, and the other one is speaker. Some devices are input and output devices. One is USB or DVD drive, and the other one is hard disk. But you can see a thing called main board. So you can see these CPU, RAM, and all those stuff. Those are all put on a main board. So a main board is also called a motherboard. The CPU, GPU, sound card, hard disk, and all those stuff are put on the main board or motherboard. If the motherboard is damaged, the computer won't work. That's why it's called the motherboard. So this is my first episode of Computer Fundamental, guys. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.